Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the National Guard products, number 19V. This is what it looks like generally when it arrives to you. It'll be shrink wrapped. And I'm going to remove it from the shrink wrap here and take a little closer look. So the 19 is a U-shaped door bottom that integrates a drip cap. And the integration of a drip cap is, I would say, always advantageous to you, always. Because drip caps, whether installed separately at the bottom of the door or they are integrated into the unit itself, or they're installed above the header of the opening, are incredibly effective at driving water away, even if it's just the small projection of the 19. Wildly successful when it comes to helping keep water out. You're kicking that line of defense out much further, and you have to have a lot of blowing rain to push it underneath the door at that point when you're not permitting it to get to the plane of the doorway. That's why they're so effective. And it's also effective because I've had customers call me and say, I don't know where the water's coming from. I don't either. From the sky is not the right answer. And we've changed weather stripping to incorporate drip caps. And I get a call from the client said it rained for 12 straight hours, not a drop of water. And at the floor is really important, but also overhead. So if you've got a typical hollow metal door on an exterior application, and if you're putting a drip cap at the bottom of the opening, you want to put one at the top, and we'll get to that in a moment. I paused the video to slide that insert in. That's what the vinyl looks like when it's inserted in. The 19 is representative of the dimensional properties of this item. This would be very typical and appropriate, in my opinion, to probably use on a stock hollow metal door. If you're using a 1/4 inch tall threshold, you'll have a 3/4 inch typical undercut. That should work out for you very well. Bead of silicone, threshold come down. It should be ideal for you. The 19 is going to be 4 1 3/4 inch thick door. Okay. It is going to have a 1 inch face, I think on both sides, of the aluminum itself. 1 inch there, 1 inch on the interior. It's therefore going to have, probably about 1.5 inches overall height to the bottom of the seal. Okay, appears to be about accurate. Projection of that drip cap measured from the face of the door. Okay, about 9/16. That's typical for these. The absence of any letter after 19 means mill aluminum finish, which is what we're dealing with here. The V stands for vinyl. You're going to get a vinyl insert. Typical builder's quality material, that's vinyl. Let's talk about that. There is a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure where you can see several door bottoms available from National Guard. The 19V is what we've got here, lower right-hand corner. The 19VA is the same thing with a clear anodized aluminum finish. Won't be streaky or runny. It will be a very consistent anodized aluminum finish. This is just raw aluminum. 19VB, that's going to be a gold anodized, and then a 19V DKB will be dark bronze. Okay? The vinyl will always be gray. Neoprene will be black. If you were to change the V to an N, it will give you a much higher performance piece of insert material for this. However, you won't be dealing with a 19 at that point. You'd have to select a different door bottom. Okay, let's take a look at what that would be. And while I wait for the catalog to come up, I want to know what the other door bottoms are that you could do in a neoprene. Neoprene would be a synthetic rubber, would certainly be it would be quite superior to vinyl, which will degrade with extreme temperatures, and certainly exposure to ultraviolet. You don't have to be in direct sunlight, I have learned, in a southern climate for there to be the presence of ultraviolet. Ultraviolet is just in daylight as well, and it will fatigue vinyl, that's to be sure. But the other vinyl models that are there, and you would choose vinyl if cost really was the most important aspect, but I would argue if you're going to put a drip cap on your unit, you'd probably want to upgrade the insert material. There is some vinyl that's listed on that page in the larger extended shoes that have the 3-inch face. If you were looking to maybe help mitigate some surface damage on the bottom of your door, you might have a door that is rusting or maybe degrading or delaminating. And in instances like that, adding a larger door bottom is very advantageous because it will permit you to get more life out of that door. Now, back to the neoprene version, if you wanted this same 19 in a neoprene, it'd be a 119N, and it will give you a higher performance piece of seal material, but the 1/2 inch from the bottom of the door to the bottom of the sill becomes 3/4 inch, so be mindful of that. Neoprene's a bit, they may not be able to produce it so that it's so small to give you a 1/2 inch. Now, the 19V is listed in the website in lots of different lengths, everything from 2 foot to 8 foot. You can have longer lengths. We just don't list longer lengths because the cost to ship is generally prohibitive. But if you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know. Just order the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field the net length that you'd like for us to cut the material back to. The reasoning is if you had to take this 3-foot piece, you'd eliminate that. If you had to take this 3-foot piece and cut it back to, say, 34 inch, you'd eliminate that first slotted hole. The next one's all the way over here. There are slotted holes on the inside, and what's nice is, of course, they're staggered so that you don't have any sort of conflict between screws going back to back. But the point of the matter is, if you want or need a custom length, and I would imagine that you would, order the next longest piece, let us know, put the size there, and we'll endeavor to have it shipped out that way. If it's an in-swing door, be mindful that you're probably going to have to notch the face of this drip cap. You might have to cut that back. National Guard can provide notching services, so if you would like for them to produce that, reach out to us and we'll get you a quote for a notch, but you'll probably have to notch it if it's an in-swing door. I couldn't imagine a situation where you wouldn't. Speaking of those holes, screws are included in a complimentary finish. Okay, having those slotted holes from the factory is awfully nice because it'll help you account for a door that may not be square on the bottom, maybe a sill that's not level, or maybe a jamb that's not square or plumb or toed in or out. Plus, that drill bit has a tendency to walk a little bit before it pierces into the steel, wood, aluminum, stainless, fiberglass, bronze, whatever you're drilling into, if you've not used a center punch. So the slotted hole will help tailor that as well. There is a link below this video to the installation instructions that will allow you to see what comes with the hardware. It just is measure, cut to length, install. It's very simple. Installing an item like this is really more reality check first and then moving forward from there with a proper installation. Leave the vinyl or neoprene or whatever pile, leave it long, trim it after you're done. You don't need to cut that to the end of the unit itself. Leave it long and have it seal a little bit better. If you're doing an in-swinging application, a very common piece of equipment is also the inside corner dust plugs, which are self-adhesive pads that will go at the bottom of the jambs on the inside rabbet of where the door is occupying. If you have need for those, let us know. We can help you with that material as well. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the National Guard products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. The name National Guard is quite synonymous with all things weather stripping related, and if you are in the construction industry, even remotely, and if you've dealt with commercial doors, you will probably have already come across their name because it's a name that is, again, synonymous with weather stripping, but universally understood, at least in my experience, as a very high-quality manufacturer of weather stripping. And that catalog there will allow you to review that information, their full line, I should say. Any questions on the 19V door bottom with a drip cap or any other National Guard product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.